Hello, my name is Nigel Ross and I'm one of the Sheriff's Principal in Scotland. I have been Sheriff Principal of Lothian Borders since 2022. This short video is intended to be an insight into the working life of a sheriff and relates to the forthcoming application round in early 2026 for the post of sheriff at the Sheriff Courts of Oban and Campbeltown. These courts are within the Sheriffdom of North Strathclyde. This video is intended to support potential applicants by giving some information about what work as a sheriff will involve and about the typical working environment of a sheriff. This video can give no more than a general overview, of course, and for full details of the role of a sheriff, you should consult the information on the website for the Judicial Appointments Board for Scotland. That source will also give you full information as to the competition, the time limits for application, and the necessary qualifying preconditions for application. There are 6 sheriffdoms in Scotland and each has a sheriff principal. The Courts Reform Act 2014 makes each sheriff principal responsible for the efficient disposal of business in the sheriff courts of that sheriffdom. That general responsibility covers everything which makes the sheriff court work, including court procedures and efficient court operation. The Sheriff Principal oversees the allocation of sheriffs within that sheriffdom. Their task is to ensure that the business of the courts is processed efficiently while always maintaining high standards of judicial scrutiny and decision-making. That can only be done by supporting and assisting the sheriffs. The Sheriff Principal will also take responsibility for dealing with ancillary matters such as complaints, issuing practice notes, liaising with clerks and administrative staff, and so forth. In relation to sheriffs, the Sheriff's Principal all take a keen interest in promoting the welfare of sheriffs to allow the sheriffs to, in turn, to carry out their functions. Sheriffs are expected to hold themselves to high standards, but the Sheriff's Principal are available to assist and advise on any personal or professional challenges which affect the operation of the courts. You will always find a Sheriff Principal or a colleague who will be available to assist you, particularly in the early days of your career. The Sheriffdom of North Strathclyde covers a large geographical area which reaches from Tiree to Paisley, from Oban to Kilmarnock. It comprises the sheriff courts in Greenock, Kilmarnock, Oban, Paisley, Campbeltown, Dumbarton and Dunoon, as well as a satellite court at Lochgilphead. In each of these courts, the allocation and timing of court hearings is adapted to suit local demand. The Sheriff Principal of North Strathclyde is Sean Murphy, KC. There are normally 18 sheriffs in the sheriffdom. In your new post at Oban and Campbeltown, business is allocated primarily between the two. In a typical month, the resident sheriff spends 2 weeks sitting in Oban Sheriff Court and 1 week sitting in Campbeltown Sheriff Court. The remaining week will see the sheriff floating according to demands of business. There are occasional sittings in the court building at Lochgilphead. There are jury sittings every 3 months in Oban Sheriff Court. There are also jury sittings every 3 months at Campbeltown Sheriff Court. Each court has a wide variety of other business, from summary crime and civil work, both chambers work and court hearings. The business covers a full range of civil and criminal business, and I will say a bit more about types of work you will be doing in a moment. The sheriff at Oban and Campbeltown is not left isolated. There is a supervisory role for Dumbarton Sheriff Court. That means if the sheriff in Oban and Campbeltown would like to discuss any aspect of a case, whether during a case or a future hearing, there is advice and assistance easily available a phone call away. Equally, any aspect of running the sheriff court can be discussed with colleagues at Dumbarton or indeed at other sheriff courts in the first instance. So the role of a sheriff is very varied, and you will deal with questions of law which cover almost the entire law of Scotland. Whatever your current background, you can expect to be sitting in cases in which you have a considerable amount of expertise, but also in cases which are presently unfamiliar to you and which require you to learn new areas of law and procedure. It makes for a very interesting career, and you will be supported to expand your expertise in every direction. While there are specialisms in some courts, every sheriff has to deal with the full range of business of the sheriff courts. This will from time to time involve being able to hear submissions and deliver sound judgments on areas of law which are presently unfamiliar to you. The job is a challenging one, that you will be supported throughout your career from a number of sources. A sheriff is a judge who sits in the regional courts. Sheriffs deal with by far the bulk of litigation in Scotland and are the mainstay of the judicial system in that respect. The nature of the jurisdiction tends to be limited by geography rather than subject matter, although there are a few elements which are reserved to the national courts, the Supreme Courts, either by topic or by value. In criminal proceedings, a sheriff will sit on both solemn and summary matters. Solemn cases will require balloting and overseeing a jury. You will require to address a jury to inform them about both the general principles of jury trials and the particular legal issues of the case. Sentencing powers are up to 5 years custody, with a power to remit to the High Court for higher sentences. You will be supported in your management of juries by the materials provided by the Judicial Institute of Scotland. These materials include the jury manual and the criminal bench book, which together set out the law and general principles of managing juries, and also summarise the law on the issues you will most commonly see. They are together a very comprehensive resource, and all sheriffs and senators place considerable reliance on these. You will also sit in summary criminal proceedings, where you will be both decision maker and sentencer. These cases have a maximum custodial sentence of 12 months, or 18 months if there's a bail aggravation. These will be the most common criminal proceedings you will see, and they provide a wide overview of the communities you serve and the issues which arise in the jurisdiction. You will be assisted in both solemn and summary cases by experienced court clerks and administrative assistants who can advise on interlocutors and court procedures. Civil proceedings cover a large number of areas, and you will find this an interesting jurisdiction. There will often be something new, and again you will find assistance in the materials provided by the Judicial Institute and the Sheriffdom Legal Library. Cases will span everything from insolvency, contract and company law to family law, adoption and personal injury claims. You will also have supervisory jurisdiction over commissary and other work. Your intellectual curiosity will be rewarded in your post, and you will develop greatly as a lawyer. There are a variety of other duties carried out in court or in chambers. These may include adults with incapacity, criminal search warrants of various types, statutory appeals about local gun licenses or alcohol licensing or refusal of taxi licensing, and other public law issues relating to decisions made by the local authority. You will require occasionally to write your decisions. You may find your decisions reported in legal journals. You will, from time to time, deal with high-profile cases, whether involving famous people or challenging issues of current public interest. Your decisions will be of interest to a wide variety of people, and your job will engage you in a way that few others can. It is a privilege to carry out the function of a sheriff, and you will find it a rewarding career in a way few others can be. You may find the prospect of becoming a sheriff a daunting one, but if you are a competent and diligent lawyer with a curiosity to learn new law, you will be supported in your development. It is well understood that no sheriff comes to the role with expertise in every area, and that every new sheriff will have specialised to some extent in their careers to date. There is a large amount of expertise amongst the judiciary from which you can find guidance and advice. In Oban and Campbeltown, you have direct assistance from Dumbarton Sheriff Court. You will be allocated experienced clerks and a judicial mentor if you so wish. You will attend an induction course at the Judicial Institute where you will make contacts with other newly appointed sheriffs. Your sheriff principal is always available for advice and assistance. Your judicial colleagues, whether in the same sheriffdom or elsewhere in Scotland, are available to discuss any matter which arises in court. There is a wealth of written material available from the Judicial Institute. You will also have the benefit of online legal resources, including a database of cases and textbooks. In addition, the Judicial Office of Scotland is there to support you with any welfare or other non-legal issues which may arise. So that is a very brief introduction to the career of a sheriff at Oban and Campbeltown. I hope that it is of interest to good lawyers who want to serve their communities. The competition launch is planned for February 2026, and the qualifying criteria and full details of the role will be posted on the website for the Judicial Appointments Board for Scotland. Please consult that website for your next steps. Thank you for your time in watching this, and I wish you every success in your future career.